inside the mind of Jodi Arias. Showbiz Tonight counting down the top 3 things that Jodi has said and done that have all of us asking, what is she thinking? Who better to help us figure this out than Jim Clemente? He works on the hit TV drama Criminal Minds as an advisor and writer. And Jim also used to profile criminals for the FBI. He joins us from Hollywood tonight. Also with us is Judge Larry Seidlin, who presided over all of the drama we saw play out in the battle to decide where Anna Nicole Smith would be buried. Judge Seidlin joining us from our Miami studio tonight. It's great having you both here.
Well, always a pleasure to be with you, AJ.
Well, let's kick it off, guys. It's our Showbiz Countdown, and number 3 tonight, what is Jodi thinking with all of her crying spells in court? Now, we've seen Jodi Arias have several emotional moments in court during the nonstop live coverage here on HLN. They usually come during any talk of her killing her boyfriend, Travis Alexander, of course, shooting him, stabbing him nearly 30 times, and slitting his throat.
Ma'am, were you crying when you were shooting him?
I don't remember.
Were you crying when you were stabbing him?
I don't remember.
How about when you cut his throat? Were you crying then?
I don't know.
All right, let's go inside the mind of Jodi Arias right now. And Jim, I want to start with you. You're a former profiler for the FBI. We see your guidance on CBS's Criminal Minds. Why do you think she gets so emotional?
I think she's hyper self-controlled, and I think that emotionality is absolutely a ploy. I think she's doing it to play up to the jury, to play a victim, and I think she does it very effectively. She is actually a very intelligent and very articulate witness, and I would put her on the level of Ted Bundy in terms of her ability to be charismatic and to just articulate her point of view.
Wow. Judge Seidlin, is that how you see it? Do you agree with Jim that this is a ploy, or could these possibly be real tears going on here with Jodi?
Well, she's trying to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. This gal on a 52-card deck is missing about 7 cards. But she's well-spoken, and she's trying to show sympathy. She wants the jury to feel sorry for her so they don't eventually say she should be put to death. She's everywhere. She's like at a buffet at the Ritz. She'll serve you shrimp, lobster, steak. She'll say anything to try to get off this death row.
So, Jim, getting us inside Jodi's head for a moment, you say she's putting on a big show here. What do you think exactly, based on your experience, she is thinking during these crying episodes?
Well, I think she's thinking about getting it right. She's very, very, very careful to make sure that every answer she gives, she actually looks at the jury. She's trying to engage them. She's trying to draw them in. And her job, as her defense attorneys, I'm sure, have explained to her, and I'm sure she has actually thought of it herself, that her job is to convince them that she's a real person. If she can convince them that she's a human being and they can feel some sort of bond with her, then the chances of them putting her to death are going to be minimized.
And Jim, do you think that's working?
Actually, I think she's being pretty effective. I have to say that she actually does a good job in terms of not only conveying that sort of victim feeling to the jury, but also getting under the skin of the prosecutor and causing him to sort of get off his game.
Yeah, there's no question.
It's amazing how she does it.
No question that is what's going on. It'll be interesting to see what happens because she needs all the help she can get, it seems to me. But another piece of theatrics on the stand is next. It's number 2 on our Showbiz Countdown of things that have us wondering, what is Jodi Arias thinking? Jodi's tense back and forth with Bulldog prosecutor Juan Martinez. Now, we have repeatedly seen Jodi bicker with Martinez during the trial, during exchanges like this.
Are you having problems understanding again what's going on?
Sometimes, because you go in circles.
Yes or no?
I was saying no when you interrupted me. I think I'm more focused on your posture and your tone and your anger, so it's hard to process the question.
So you believe the reason that you can't be effective on the witness stand is because somebody is asking you questions in a way you don't like?
I think that was a compound question.
I think that was a compound question. Judge Seidlin, I know this is a familiar scene to you. You've seen this kind of bickering while sitting on the bench, especially when you presided over the Anna Nicole Smith battles. If Jodi is trying to impress the jury, what do you think she's thinking when she comes off, quite frankly, so disrespectfully on the stand?
Well, at times she's like an animal in a jungle. She's protecting herself. She knows she's being attacked by this individual being the prosecutor. She's fighting for her life. I don't like the fact that of the defense, this affirmative defense. If she's going to pick a story, and she could have picked many of them, they came up with the worst one. I like one where it's a crime of passion, that this boyfriend of hers told her, it's not going to work, I'm not going to marry you, and she just lost her mind. It was of emotion. She just killed him at that point. This other stuff isn't going to sell, but she's showing the jury she's human. She's showing the jury that she's fighting for her life. They're going to have a hard time injecting her with lethal drugs.
And as you guys have both said, she's doing it very methodically. Jim, it seems to me that Jodi is taking Martinez's prosecution personally. Is that actually what is going on here with her responses to him?
Yeah. Well, what's going on, I think, is in her mind she's saying, if I can be hyper accurate, if I can call him to task on every single teeny tiny misstatement or any time he asks a question that isn't clear, I can break his rhythm and I can get under his skin, get him upset, and so he doesn't look as good to the jury as he's trying to. And I think she then plays the victim again. I think it's all very calculated. She's amazing to watch.
All in the name of
she's
manipulation. Well, that's what most people are saying is going to be her undoing here. And we're now down to the #1 thing on the Showbiz Countdown that has us asking, what is Jodi thinking? Jodi's conversations with herself, like we see in that just revealed video of Jodi's bizarre behavior in the police interrogation room. This was just minutes before she was charged with murdering Travis Alexander. She's doing handstands, as we see. She sings, all while worrying about her appearance. Let's watch that.
Goodness. You should have at least done your makeup, Jodi. Gosh. It might change my memory.
I mean, it is just bizarre to me. Judge Seidlin, she's singing, laughing, doing the handstands, worrying about her makeup. When she's about to be charged with murder, what in the world do you think is going through Jodi's mind here?
This is a woman we don't want over for Passover or Thanksgiving dinner. I think half the guests will be leaving the table in a bad way. She's just a fruit cup at times. She can't control herself at times. There are times where she can line up the ducks in a row. But here she's just absolutely out of her mind because she didn't know she was being videoed. And she likes being on TV. When this camera's rolling, she's thrilled to testify for 18 days. This is a reality TV show for her.
All right, no matzah for Jodi, according to Judge Seidlin. Jim, do you agree?
Yeah, I would have to disagree. I think at one point, I believe she knew there were cameras there and she was playing to those cameras. I think that was the most important thing for her. She was loving it. She was loving the attention. In fact, she was grandstanding by handstanding. I think that's exactly what was going through her mind. This is an opportunity for me to show off, to show that they haven't gotten to me just because they have me locked up in this room. I can do whatever I want. Even the song she chose to sing about changing her memory when memory is the exact issue in this case. I mean, it's unbelievable. But it's a very clear example of her showing off for the cameras.
That was a stunning moment for me. That's a song by Dido that she was singing a piece of there, and the fact that her memory is one of the big stars, or her lack of memory, one of the big stars of this trial, and how it's all playing out. Great insight from you guys tonight. Thank you both so much, Jim and Larry. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, AJ.